who would keep tabs of the questions, so I don't have to.
Yes, I will do that. I'll be
Okay.
moderating. Yeah. Let me introduce myself. I'll be moderating. So
Because I saw
we'll be checking the
something per registrar, PA to the registrar. You need to change that. PA
You see,
at
when the speaker
having
self is introducing somebody else's title, then he will be ready
well,
to
yeah,
respond. Okay.
it's not my fault. If you have your name as P small, then I'm tempted to keep it together as Pa.
Okay.
There's a
Okay, because they're not.
extra.
Please don't convert the young man to old man. Oh.
Okay, so sorry, I think maybe we're that. Thank God our head ICT is also in the room from my university here, Mr. Kennedy. So please help change this back to PA. So that I believe in the next few minutes, we'll have more people join the room. We're able to start on time, but as Africans have also come to understand that we need to give some extra time for people to join.
We still have a lot of time. It's not even 7 p.m. yet. Enough time. I think we're making good time. We already have this amount of people on.
Then I'll kindly crave our indulgences to mute if we're not speaking, so that we don't have some. Yeah, Frederick, if you can mute, you're still unmuted. I can't do that from here, but I know Jide where you are. I know you have access to the host, right? So in case there's a need to mute anyone, please kindly add that to the assignment that you are handling. Thank you.
It looks like my video went off. Has it come back on? Or anybody?
No. Okay, yes, it's on
Okay.
now. It's back on.
Okay.
Okay.
I will go ahead and mute myself while we wait for others to join. So probably about 7 p.m., which is 1 p.m. my time, then we can jump into it.
All
I'll
right.
keep
Yeah.
it because it looks like it takes some time to come up.
Okay, but I will do some intro so that will give you time to prepare to come up. If
Okay, that's
there's,
fine.
I can give some space. I'll do some intro.
So do you need me to stop the presenting right now?
No, 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 no. You can leave the screen the way
Okay.
it is.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. We're grateful that our speaker is already in the room. And permit me to mention that this time last month we were here, talking about Control Alt Delete. I am grateful that our last month's speaker is also in the room. He spoke to us about mindset resets because we discovered that for you to start your success journey, it starts from the mind. The state of your mind needs to be, re-engineered first. And it took us through a wonderful session of mindset reset using Control, Alt, and Delete. And I hope if any of us was here last month, we have been practicing some of the things that we've learned. For me, I've tried to ensure that I stop doing some things that are not working for me. I've started doing things that will work for me, and I've continued to do some things that are already working for me. And I'm grateful that I was under that at that masterclass, and that is why I'm also excited this masterclass because it's going to be a big one. Challenges will always come. That is what I see. We will always have challenges. But before I begin to talk about that, in the comment section, can we just introduce ourselves? Just say your first name and the country where you're from. Let's just know how rich this meeting is. Your first name and the country where you're from, so that we can know where you're talking to us or joining us from. I believe others are also joining. Yeah, in the chat room, let's have you talk to us about, just tell us your name and the country you're joining from. Your first name, preferably. Yeah, I'm waiting. All right, my name is Mercy Lyons, Dr. Mercy Lyons, and I'm talking to you from Nigeria. Ekiti State to be precise, because that is where I work. And I am the founder of Anike Lions. And what we do is we help to talk to people. Thank you, Latasha from USA. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you being here. We're expecting others to also, just your first name, Frederick, from joining from Oyo State, Nigeria. Tebitope from Nigeria. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. Yes, I'm hopeful that you learn a lot today. Yes, this is Uzo from Nigeria. I'm glad you are here. Thank you for joining, sis. Thank you. Aaron from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you. Becky from Nigeria. Oh, okay. Thank you for joining. Okay. Please, can you tell us your first name and where you're joining from? Babajide from Okemesi Ekiti. Thank you for joining. We are glad to have you here to listen to us today at this masterclass. And like I was saying, we always have challenges. Challenges comes in different forms or shades or modes, but there's a need to learn how to bounce back, because you can't say you want to run away from challenges. And there is no better person to talk to us about this than the speaker who is talking to us today. I am sure it has lots of things, amazing stuff to talk to us about, turning challenges into successes. And I'm glad that we are still having people join us. We have Joseph Judah from Ekiti Okemesi. That's Nigeria. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you are here. Thank you so much for joining. I think in the next 1 or 2 minutes, we should start. We have it's a class, so it doesn't have to be the hundreds. No matter the number, we're good to go as long as we learn, because my major target or my major drive is that as long as one person's life gets changed from any of these master classes or any of the trainings that we organize, that is more than enough success for me, because it's not just about hearing these things, it's also about doing them. It's not just about hearing them, it's about practicing, learning them for your lives, so that you can, have a stronger stand in the face of challenges, especially looking at the topic we have today. So I think let's just go right into it. Felix Precious from Nigeria, thank you for coming, thank you for joining. All right, our speaker is ready for us, Mr. Olukayode. Okay. Yes, we joked earlier about it that I needed to know how to pronounce the name, so he had to teach me how to pronounce his surname. Okay, not okay, and it's not Okechukwu, it's okay as a mountain. Thank you so much. Permit me to hand over the microphone to you so that we can have enough time to, run this through with us. Is this being recorded? Yes, we are working on recording it. Yes, that's Mr. Femi Usikalu. I know you're joining us from the USA. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Chizitere from Port Harcourt. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. Please permit me to hand over to the speaker of today. Please, Mr. Olukayode, you have the floor. Thank you. Please, let's give him a
Thank you
round
very
of applause. Send emojis, send emojis. Let's appreciate him. Send emojis. Let's appreciate him. Let's appreciate him.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Can you guys hear me clearly? Just send an emoji, thumbs up emoji if you can hear me. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thanks. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. Good evening, everyone, from wherever you are around the world. Today, we'll be talking about a really important topic called uh, we'll be talking about transforming challenges into success, learning lessons from remarkable lives. Some of the lives you already know, hopefully. And yeah, I'd like to start with a quick question. If you know the answer to it, please just turn your mic on and say it. What did a hurricane say to the palm tree? It's a joke. Oh, I didn't expect to be any takers. So the hurricane said to the palm tree, "Hold your nuts. This is going to be a hell of a blow, because this is my job. If you don't get the joke, forget about it." All right, I'm Kayode Oke, or Olukayode Oke, as our moderator and host has said. I live here in Dallas, in the United States. I've been in IT and technology for about 2 decades, and I would like to just share with you, a lot of things about some people's lives that you already know, and also maybe one or two examples from my life. Have you ever been in a situation where you feel stuck, like in a cycle, and you can't seem to find your way out of a maze? Well, I know I have been. I don't know the rest of you guys if you've been, because some have perfect life. They've never been stuck. They've never felt like they can't get out. They're stuck. They've never felt like they're stuck in the mud. When we're going through that, a lot of times we try to deny where we are, but we need to understand that our first step is acceptance. Acceptance isn't always surrender. It's actually the start of a transformation in our lives, where when we're in a situation, if we're able to just acknowledge it and say, "This is where I am. I'm. I don't think I can move forward." Sometimes just stepping back is the best thing to do. A case I would like to talk about when talking about this is the Olympic athlete, Simone Biles. Simone Biles, as always, I'm sure you all know her. She's sometimes called the Flying Squirrel. She has won many gold medals. I mean, like gold and silver was her thing. She hardly ever even likes the color bronze. But at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, she had this thing they call the twisties. The twisties is something um, gymnasts have where they lose their bearing of where they are. It just feels like they're in the air. They're doing all this twist. They're doing all these flips, and they just seem lost. They seem like they can't find where they are. What did she do? She stepped back. She withdrew herself from the competition. I think she was either in the finals or getting close to the finals when that happened. But she did that for a reason. If she had not done that, imagine she being in the air and losing bearing of where she is, and she falls down, hits her head, it could be catastrophic. But what did she do? She decided to just step back. She decided to not let her pride take over her and just say, "Oh, I've done this so many times. I've won so much gold. I'm the master at this." Some people even regard me as the greatest of all times in terms of, I mean, the greatest of all time, the GOAT, period. But she listened to her body and she decided to step down. Sometimes the courage to quit. I know when we talk about resilience, we're always thinking about the person who is dogged. We're always thinking about the person who is ramming through. But sometimes the courage to quit is actually resilience. And the next thing we need to think about is finding your purpose. Purpose definitely gives meaning to your struggle. Whenever you're struggling with something, just knowing that there's a goal, knowing that at the end of it, this is what's going to be at the end of the tunnel, helps you just like push forward, helps you, fuels you. It's a passion that fuels perseverance. Knowing where you're going, knowing that at the end of this tunnel, you're getting to the light. Um, a case we could look at is Oprah Winfrey. After she has faced so many professional setbacks in her life, such as being fired from her first reporting job, who would have thought that she turned rejection into the fall and embracing her authentic self. She is more of an empathic person as against being a reporter where you're just given a script. There's hardly even any personality to it. You're just coming reading a script. That wasn't her. And I know there are a lot of people here that they've been in situations where they just don't feel like themselves. They feel like they're being somebody else. They feel like they have to be somebody else to fit into that role. But stepping away, stepping back, looking at that struggle, looking at that challenge that you're facing, and just saying, what do I need to do? Where do I want to be? How do I get to where I want to be? Helps. So, in the case of Oprah Winfrey, we know her name now. She's become a global phenomenon. Her journey is a testament of how you can turn pain. I mean, outside of her setbacks, she came from poverty. She came from a life of abuse. So everything about her is like when people think about people who went through such situations, they seem to see them as people who can't even get out of that hole, that being stuck in that mud. But she went from that to become something else, to become a global phenomenon. Now, this resilience, I know when we are talking about bouncing back, we're talking about resilience. We're talking about the change of mindset from where you where you've been. There's something that kept you where you are. I think there's a saying that says that I think if you're doing the same thing over and over again, that's the definition of madness. So if your current mindset hasn't gotten you far, why not think about changing it? Why not think about seeing things differently, about how you can, instead of seeing why there's no way for you to get through, to seeing how you can actually get through. That's definitely one way you can see things like, okay, what's going on around me? How can I look at things differently? And that's one of the challenges I want you guys to take away from this today, where you see yourself and you challenge yourself to change your mindset, to change how you view things. To A part of that is celebrating small wins. We have this big goal in our head where we are trying to get to, say, a figure for a salary or a destination. and we're just so fixated on it that we don't even see the wins when we make steps, when we make strides. Set milestones. Put See what you have done, see how far you have come, and whenever you're able to do that, you're able to actually see yourself and appreciate your journey. For this, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us know this man, Nick Vujik. This is a man who has no legs, no arms, but in the world, he's known all over the world. His name resonates in every room. He goes to speak to people, he speaks to CEOs of Fortune 100 companies. He is paid big to talk to people. Looking at him, you feel like, how can this man even be able to do what he's doing? But he's doing it because he's not looking at his challenge. It's like, I need to move forward. I need to have a mindset change. There are a lot of people like me who have challenges and would not move past the challenges. But I'm here. I have these limitations, but I'm not focusing on my limitation. I keep charging forward. And I think we should think about that when we're faced with things. I don't think any of us has as much of a physical limitation or challenge as much as this man. And he has made something out of himself. The next step is reaching out. So we've recognized where we are. We've adjusted our mindsets. Now the next thing is, who can help us? How can we get to our goal? You don't have to do it alone. It's your journey, but along the way there are markers, there are helpers, there are people who God has put in there to help you. There are people who their destinies are tied with yours, or it might be for a short distance, it might be for a longer distance, but there are people who are there just to help you go from point A to point B. And the moment we're able to recognize that we need a support system actually is like a broom by itself. If you have just one piece of broom, I don't know anybody who can sweep a whole house with a broom, with just one single broom. But when they're bunched together, they make a powerful they make a powerful tool that cleans the house in no time. So let's always think about, how can we build a community? How can we get people of like mind? And as we said in the other time, mindset. So you need someone who has like mind as you for them to be able to move you to where you're going. So a typical case, I mean, Malala, we all know her for winning the Nobel Peace Prize, but she started with passion. Yes, she had passion. She knew where she was going, but without people pushing her, without a community surrounding her, she would have died. She would have failed. So we should, while we're moving forward, we shouldn't just be thinking about, how can I do it alone? How can I get everything I want to do and do it by myself? It's not about you. It's your journey, but you need people to help you move it forward. Uh, Now we're transforming ourselves because we have come from just feeling stuck to a place where we're now beginning to see changes. We are beginning to, like a basketball, the first drop hits the floor and bounces back. So now we are beginning to not just be a stationary object, we are beginning to move. We're recognizing that we need things are changing in our lives. Change is growth. It's definitely growth opportunity. There's something I've said many times. I read it somewhere. I can't remember where exactly, which is asking, at what points do we think a butterfly is perfect? Is it at the stage where it's an egg? Is it at the stage where it's a larva? Is it at the stage where it's a butterfly, or is it even at the stage where it dies? The answer to that question is that it's perfect at every stage. If it's not an if it didn't start as an egg, it will never be a larva. It has to be the best egg it can be for it to become a larva. It has to be the best larva it can be for it to become a butterfly. And it has to be after it has lived its life as a butterfly, it eventually transitions into perfection. I mean, what we regard as perfection, because after death, you know, I don't know where a butterfly goes after they die. So, but we do have to embrace change. When we think about people like Steve Jobs that reinvented himself after a setback, we need to stay open to new paths because sometimes where we are on the right path, but we are not maximizing ourselves. While we are welcoming change, a lot of things happen. Change is not the enemy, it's actually the engine that drives the progress. Now, this part is my favorite, which is be real. Be real, y'all. Whatever you do, just make sure you're real. You're real with yourself. This is where I kind of share my story about how my life transformed in a way that it changed me. While I was in college in University of Lagos, I went through my first 3 years, just living life. I was, doing averagely good. But while I was there, secret, I think I see my brother and my sister. One secret they didn't know, as at year three, I had five carryovers. Yes, I had five carryovers. Looked like it looked like I wasn't going to be able to graduate with my mates. I wasn't going to be able to do anything for myself. I was stuck in this cycle of hang out, party, play, have fun, but also I was there was a serious element to me, but I couldn't exactly harness it until I became real with myself. It's not about that professor teaching engineering maths who everybody sees as the person who fails you, or about that auntie somewhere who does not like you. It's about you. You have to be real with yourself. You have to take responsibility for yourself. You have to do your best, put in everything. First, you've changed your mindset. You have you've recognized where you are. I was real with myself. I knew I was the problem. I knew I wasn't doing something right. I was going to night prep. I was going to class at night to read. It's not my way of studying. I was only going there to hang out. After I was done, I came back. I did not learn anything. I had to realize my way of studying. I had to realize my way of doing things. I had to refocus myself. I had to know who I was. And after that, I mean, I could tell you that after that, I think the worst grade I had after that was a B. And surprise, surprise, with five carryovers in year three, I graduated with my mates. I pushed myself to the limit. I pushed myself to where I thought I couldn't go in my first 3 years. The things I thought were impossible, I pushed myself to it because at this point I knew what I wanted. I had a focus, I had a purpose, and I just kept pushing towards it. But if I wasn't real with myself, I could still be blaming somebody else. I could still be holding someone else responsible for my life. And one other thing I need to tell you about being real is vulnerability does not make you weak. Vulnerability connects us. Showing how vulnerable you are is someone else's testimony. Sharing your truth might be someone else's way, might be someone else's lifeline. So just being able to share your vulnerability, being able to say, I've been through this, I've been where you are, and this is what I have done. someone else might be able to connect to it and might move them to the next stage. So whatever you're doing, whenever, however you're doing it, make sure you're real with yourself. And when you find someone who could use your story as an inspiration, please share. Now we have come to our, our next stage where first, we had this mindset that was holding us back. We have transformed ourselves in a way where we have become butterflies ready to fly away. But then we still have this anchor, we still have this thing stuck in the past, holding us back, pulling us back, holding us from spreading our wings. We have become a butterfly, but we are still stuck in the lava shell. We can't fly until we learn to forgive ourselves, until we learn to give ourselves the gift of forgiveness. Because when you forgive yourself, forgiveness is not for everybody, it's actually for you. Forgiveness is the way that you tell yourself, I release the past, I let go, and I'm ready to move forward. There are so many of us who the only thing that is holding us back is not forgiving others or not forgiving ourselves. The most important person to forgive is yourself because we're harder on ourselves than we are on any other person. We're thinking about us, we are so us centered that we're thinking, how can I do this? Why would I do this? How can you be so stupid? How can you make such a mistake? You've made it. It's gone. The mistakes you've made 3 years ago that you thought was going to be the end of your life did not end you. Surprise, surprise. You are still here. So make the best of your today by forgiving yourself of your past. Now, this is where I know that a lot of us just can't. It's hard because we're so empathic that we're thinking of how to take care of others, how to make others the priority. But how can you give what you don't have? If you don't have health, how can you give health? How can you take care of other people? If you don't have the finances, how can you finance other people? If you don't have joy, how can you spread joy? Joy is one of the biggest parts of healing. Being able to find your spot, being able to say, I have done this, I've released my past. Now it's time for me to focus on myself, not just focusing on myself, but focus on myself in a way where, man, think about a torchlight, where if you don't put the battery into it, how can it shine the light? The only way you can shine the light is by recharging yourself. So find a way to recharge yourself so you can shine the light on others. And yes, the bicycle. I mean, if we all, I'm sure a lot of us, if not all of us, have rode on bicycles before. The moment you stop paddling that bicycle, I don't know if there are people who have more skills than I do, but I know that the moment you stop paddling that bicycle, it falls over. So moving forward, set small achievable goals. It might be just turning the paddles. It might be just finding a path. It might be anything. Just keep moving forward. Whatever it is that you are stuck with, make sure that you keep moving forward. Every step is a path towards victory. Take consistent action. And as we have said before, celebrate small wins. You've made a little progress, celebrate it. Keep moving forward, keep letting it push you. And while you're doing that, you realize that
7 o'clock. Yes.
is everybody,
Hi,
and
Mary.
then
Can you kindly mute? Of course, it's 7 o'clock and you came in late. Thank you. So sorry about that. You can continue. Thank you.
All right. Yes, forgive them as you forgive yourself. Yes, so progress definitely builds momentum. When you find yourself moving, there are times when you're just doing small things. You're like, oh, let me let me just clean the fan. All of a sudden, the fan looks good. Oh, let me go ahead and dust everywhere around the house. Oh, the house is beginning to look good. Let me vacuum. Before you know it, 3, 4 hours after, you're still in a clean because you have built momentum. You have gotten to a point where you feel like you've gathered steam. Now it's time to keep moving forward. Whatever you do, do not stay stagnant. Stagnancy is actually death. It's falling over. You never you stopping does not doesn't mean you're not moving. It actually means you're falling over. And next, yes, trust the process. Trust the process. Your path may twist, but it definitely leads to somewhere powerful. I put this image in there because when we look at the image, we see that it's windy. Depending on where you're standing on the road, all you might see might be just dense forest ahead of you. Might be a windy road where you don't even know how to navigate it. Might be fog. You can't see the future. You don't know what the future holds for you. But recovery is never a linear path. It's something that when you start, it's you're going step by step. You're navigating the ins and the outs. You're going along the lines, sometimes even jumping into the bush so that you can get to your path. Your journey is unique. It's your journey is your journey. As long as you trust the process, it will definitely take you to a path where you would feel very comfortable. So just make sure you trust the process, embrace the highs and the lows, because through it all, yes, you've transformed yourself. Yes, you've changed your mindset. There will still be times where you question that mindset. You'd ask yourself, am I doing enough? Or have I even done enough? Am I worthy of where I am? Have you second guess yourself. You think about things. You even ask yourself, am I deserving of where I've gotten to? You're still on the way to the destination, but you have to trust the process. You have to say, okay, if I've gotten this far, I'm building momentum. I can see I'm tired. I have the support of my village or my community, the people I've built around me. Now I just need to trust the process and let the momentum carry me on. You have done what you need to do. This is where you let your community, and depending on what you believe in, if you believe in God, which I do, you allow God move you on. Now, lastly, you can rise too. Adversity doesn't define you. Where you currently are does not define you. Resilience transforms life. Also, recognizing when to stop transforms life. Knowing that you going ahead, full steam ahead into a brick wall does not get you anywhere. You can't boot through everything. There are times when you need to sit back and re-strategize so you can move forward. I mean, even with I've been talking about people from mainly the US, but all over the world. But we also have cases in Nigeria. Nigeria is a story of resilience. It's a story of bounce back. We go through a lot mentally, physically, emotionally, but we always bounce back. And we have some people, some entrepreneurs that we know that have bounced back from things that we don't even if they tell when they share their story, they can't even we sometimes we can't fully comprehend where they've been. I mean, like someone like Ijoma Ndokwe, started Bui's Foods. With minimal investment, she turned it into a global brand, and now she exports grain cereal porridge. Turned something where at first she had gone to people, talk to, try to get investments, but nothing came through. Or the case of Temitope Omotolani, despite losing her father and mother, her father and mother's business to fire at a young age, she eventually launched her own makeup and cleaning business. And she's demonstrated that failure is there has to be failure in the pursuit of success. Is it was it I can't remember who was talking about failure, but I think it was Thomas Edison that failed many times before eventually. I think even the light bulb must have been like an invention that happened after a failure. Because failure sometimes propels you. You can fail forward. You don't always have to fall back. Sometimes you just have to make sure that while you're failing, you keep moving. And that's an example of failing forward. So, with that, I conclude my presentation for today. Thank you all for having me here. And I now open the floor to questions.
All right. Please let's send our emojis. Let's appreciate our speaker. Thank you so much for thank you so much for all of the things. As in, I've been writing things down. I've been taking note of stuffs. And if you notice, some of the things, at least for some of us our age, I know I have people also younger. It's not that we don't know these things, but we've not sat down to really dig deep to think about it. And thank you for bringing this back to us. Thank you so much. Please let's appreciate our speaker one more time. You can say something nice in the message box. Yes. Okay, I'm seeing hands raised. In case you have questions, please, you can raise your hands so that we can call you one after the other. All right. Permit me to just do a brief recap from some things that I've learned. Looking at accepting and embracing where you are. That's very important. Understanding and accepting where you are right now. That is like the first step to this journey. And I trust that wherever we are able to sit down to tell ourselves the truth and acknowledge where we are. I like the point of the support system. That support is very, very important. Having a support system, knowing that life is not a competition. That's what I wrote here. So don't think you're trying to compete against other people. These other people that you think you're competing against can actually be those that can hold your hands, to climb that ladder, to do things faster, to do things better. So community is good, is great, and I love that part. And I also, one of the other things that I learned is ensuring that you are resilient. You need to win. And this is one of the lessons that, I'm seeing something in the chat, forgiving yourself. Yes, you need to learn to forgive yourself. Some of us are still beating ourselves up for some things we did in the past. The past is gone. The present is here now for you to make something to do for your future. The past is gone. The present is here now, so that you can begin to work on it for your future. And I always say this: the future is not far. The future is just in the next second, the next minute. That's the future, and everything you do, at every minute to that time counts. It matters a lot. Thank you so much. I was going through, it says something about being vulnerable. Permits me to say this. I was going through some little rough time, sometimes a week, 2 weeks ago, and I was speaking to my brother, and he said something to me that I like to share. That don't run away from challenges. Where you think you are running to also has some challenges in it, but don't run away from this current challenge, because the victory you get from this challenge is what you need as a strength for the next bigger challenge, or that place that you think you want to run to. There is no place where you want to get to that is void of challenges. And that's one resonated with me and gave me some joy to stay and ensure that I win, this challenge, and I'm doing pretty fine. And I'm glad that I've had so much words again this night to help me to continue to move consistently, determine my small and ensure that I'm consistent. I celebrate my small wins. So I have some hands up. Please confirm if you can still hear me. Sorry, I'm using two networks and it seems um, one is misbehaving while the other is working fine.
You can hear
Okay,
you.
thank you. All right, thank you so much.
Oh,
We have the hands. That's Venerable Jibrin Jibia. Your hands are raised. Please, you can talk to us. Thank you.
Yeah, very much here. Thank you so very much, Dr. Lyons. Good evening, all, and a very big thank you to Kay for that very beautiful, beautiful presentation. Very beautiful. Believe me, there's so much to unpack from these few moments you've spent here with us, and I am truly grateful to you for this conversation. I just want to ask, I particularly like the part about release yourself, where you talked about your ability to give yourself the permission to forgive yourself. I want to ask because as a priest, as a psychologist, as a counselor, and someone who deals a lot with students currently, my current role, how do you help someone who is in blatant denial of their current condition? Because again, sometimes I find people in church, we all raise holy hands, we make positive confessions, but we see our actions and we know that, well, this person is actually living in denial of maybe an incident that happened in the past, because people have a way to they cover this, they mask it. So how do you help that kind of person who has successfully masked their pain, their challenges, and somehow are not giving themselves the permission to forgive themselves for the wrongs or the mistakes they've made uh, in their lives? My question.
Well, that's a good question. But you can't help someone who isn't willing to acknowledge where they are. Because that's why the first thing is accepting where you are. If you are in denial of your situation or not even, how do you move forward from where you are if you're in denial of your situation? So I know as a priest as you are, you can talk to them. I mean, there are times when just being very easy with them with the truth doesn't help them. There are times when you have to be real with somebody. You have to tell them, look, you're wasting my time. If I tell you once, I tell you twice, and you still keep coming to me for the same thing, then my time is precious to me. I need to reclaim my time. By the third time, I will tell you, if you do not go ahead and do this, please leave me alone. You need to listen to yourself. You need to acknowledge your position first. You need to be the one. You're the first prophet of your own life, and until you start accepting your um, your place or what you're doing that is not getting you to where you need to go, then there's no way I can help you. I cannot. There's a Yoruba saying that says, "Omotoba shipa niye ngbe." So how can I carry you? How can I help you? How can the wind come under your wings when you're not even willing to spread them? So first thing you have to do is let yourself acknowledge where you are. If you can't, then I can't help you.
Thank you so much. I think we have another hand raised, and of course, we have a question in the chat room also by Cheesy, who's asking that failing forward what does that mean? Like, she would like you to expatiate on failing forward, the concept of failing forward.
Yes.
Then what
Sure.
are
Okay.
you?
I'll go ahead and jump on it.
Yeah.
So failing forward is basically not letting your setback hold you back. It's letting you see your setbacks as a learning curve, as a lesson learned, as against a failure. The moment you see what you have done and you're like, oh wow, my life is over. Guess what? Your mindset has changed. Your mind is, you've already told yourself your life is over. So that's it. The moment you fail, and you're like, okay, I've learned one more thing I don't need to do. If I do this over and over again, I will still get the same result. So let me change. I've documented one, two, three things that I shouldn't do because I've done those three things and I have failed at them. So the next step would exclude first three steps, and then I should be able to move forward. That is how you fail forward. You're not letting the failure hold you back or pull you back, but you're using it as a lesson learned and moving forward towards your next phase.
All
I
right,
hope that
thank you.
well for you.
Yeah, I hope Cheesy was, did that answer the question? If it did, please send an emoji, let's know. And of course, I agree with our speaker. Yes, failing forward means learning from your failure story, making it, turning it into a ladder to move higher. Like, this is not the way to do it. Failure for me is knowing the way not to do it so that the next time I'm trying, I'm not going that route anymore. I'm trying something else. And even if I fail in that, I know that, okay, that's not the way out. And like I always say, or something that I learned a long time ago, that for every one problem, there are nothing less than 1,000 solutions. So if 1, 2, 3 doesn't work, that means I still have another 997 options that I can still try. And I know that if I get to 1,000, I will always have a solution, always. And it has helped me a lot. So I'm always, almost all the time, not stuck because I always know that there will always be a way out. There's always a way out. All right, let's have Ayomide. Your hands are raised. You can unmute.
Good evening, everybody. I have a question to ask, and the question is: after you have acknowledged that you are suffering from a particular problem, and then
Mhm.
you have made plans to solve that problem, how do you still stay motivated when it is time for you to actually put those plans in place?
So how do you stay
Okay,
motivated?
yes, because there's motivation that comes with, oh, I don't want this to happen again. I don't want it to repeat itself. And then you put plans in place. And then when time comes for you to for you to like follow that plans, those plans that you put in place, how do you keep the same motivation that made you write out those plans in the first place?
Well, um, if you already have a plan, if you know what your purpose for doing what you are doing is, and you lay it out, you have this final goal, you have where you're going to. Your motivation should be those small wins. You stop to celebrate those wins so that you can acknowledge that you are actually moving. You're not stagnant. You're moving forward. The moment you have a little bit of momentum, and it might start slow. I've never seen a child that comes out of the womb and instantly starts running. It's always like one step at a time. First, we're looking forward to the child rolling over. Then after they roll over, we're like, oh, okay, now you can roll over. You can stay on your tummy. Yeah, you've had tummy time for some time. It's time for you to start crawling. And when that happens, we all bring out our phones, or our cameras. We start taking pictures. We start recording videos. Those are the small wins. those are the small wins we need to celebrate. And that's basically the only way. I mean, you have to reevaluate and be open to changes as well. Because while I'm getting a lot of feedback from Mr.
Yeah,
Kaides.
Mr. Kayode Hassan, can you kindly mute? I know you seem to have the same name with our speaker, but please kindly mute. Thank you.
All
All
right.
right.
So just knowing that you have that, yes, progress. Definitely seeing the progress. It might be small. It might almost look not tangible, but just seeing it, celebrating it, and thinking about it. You just because you have a plan from start to finish doesn't mean it stays that way. At every milestone, at every point where you celebrate, you evaluate the work you have done and you look at what is left and say, am I still on the right path? Do I need to? You have to be nimble. You have to be agile. You have to be able to pivot sometimes and say, all right, I think this way I can see the progress, but I've learned some lessons that has made me know that if I keep going this way, at some point I am going to hit a wall. Or and then if you also see an alternate path, just getting ready to embrace the change and move the alternate path. Like recently, one story from recently something I've been doing. I've been going to the park to run, and I started running. I've always worked out and played soccer, football, as you guys call it, and just be active. But I realized that while I'm running, I get tired easily. So I started watching YouTube videos on how to run. I mean, a lot of people would say, why would you watch? But there are people out there. This is where you start reaching out to a community. There are things out there that helps you. It's me learning how to do things better. Now I realize that me leaning forward, I am instead of letting the breeze act as resistance, I'm now leaning into the wind. So I'm almost like I'm falling. Gravity is propelling me forward. So I'm running longer and being less tired. So it's that progress, knowing that whenever something happens, I have to find a different way. I have to tweak it. I have to improve it. There has to be continuous improvements in your process.
All right, thank you very much. Do we still have more questions? While we wait for more comments or questions, I would also like to add to that response to say that sometimes or most sometimes one of the things that you can do to encourage yourself, to motivate yourself, is to paint that big picture. Paint the big picture. Like if you're a student, you begin to imagine your graduation day. That's the big picture, and then you try to do something every day that moves you forward or closer to that big picture. I remembered, I know I love to write. I've been wanting to put books together, to write my books, but somehow I just don't get. Then I discovered that I could, instead of that, writing a book at once. Maybe that's why I'm feeling pressured. Can I write every day on IG or on LinkedIn? And I started writing, and I started posting stuff every day about different topics, different things. And there was one day that my current employer called me and said, "Oh, I read the things you write. Can you pull them together, into a book?" And then it dawned on me that, oh, maybe I actually have a book right now, and I didn't know. So you look at the big picture, find a way around it, define your small. It's your small. You want to take it in small batches. It's your small, so you can define your small, but make sure that you're doing it and be consistent with it, and keep moving and keep moving. And you'll be surprised that you get to the mark, and you'll be excited to even eat and surpass it. And yeah. So do we still have any more questions or contributions? In case you have a thought that you would like to share, the floor is open. While we are thinking about that, we will be sharing the feedback form link in the because we want to improve on this. There's something coming up again in November, a masterclass, another masterclass, and we have another great speaker coming to talk to us. So we'll share it to you, far and wide. It's going to be talking about bending without breaking. Right now we are bouncing back, but we need to also know that we need to bend without breaking. And that is our topic for next month's masterclass. And we've already secured the speaker. She's excited to be here. And we'll be excited to have you also come listen to her also as you've come today. I want to say thank you. It's not yet time for vote of thanks, so let me wait a bit. Rebecca, can you kindly share the link of feedback from, because we need to improve, we need to get better. We love the fact that this is touching lives, whether it's only just one thing you've learned today. Forgiving oneself, I won't forget that. I need to learn to forgive myself for some things I've done. I keep holding on to it and it holds me back sometimes. Like, okay, I need to learn. I'll sit down and work on that. If that is the only thing I'm going to do, I will do it. But make sure that you pick something from today's lecture or class and work on it. Make sure you work on it, because the blessing is not in the hearing, the blessing is in the doing. The blessing is in the doing. Of course, yeah, Rebecca, I'm expecting the link. Can you kindly share so that we can all just quickly click and fill less than 2 minutes just to help us do better and be better at this masterclass. Thank you so much. I know I have some amazing people on the call and everyone is amazing. I may not be able to call everybody, but there's some people that would like to just say one word or two in the next few minutes we have before we shut down. Aaron, please, can we hear you? I'd like to hear something from you. Please say something, and I think, yeah, the link is in the message box. You can just click on it and kindly fill the form while we listen to Aaron, right?
Good evening, everybody. Special thanks to Mr. Olukayode and Dr. Mercy for convening this meeting, the bringing of like minds. What more is there to say? I actually just came to learn from the speaker tonight, so my mind was just open to take away from here, and I've taken quite a bit away. Again, from what the convener said, it's about action, because sometimes some of the things shared are things that we know, we heard, maybe in other words, but it's about action. I think I would simply just like to add, and we've said that already, the community that we're building, because sometimes when you have accountability partners, you're able to do more. So, the group of us here, if there's a way that, we could work something out that causes us to become accountability partners, I believe it will help us. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Aaron, for your contribution. Thank you for coming. I have a question in the chat room. Dada but the can you tell us one area where you had a huge setback and you pulled through? The person said no fitness examples. I'm not sure what that means. An area where you had a huge setback and you pulled through. You're muted. You need to unmute.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I've had many setbacks like everyone, and I definitely, the way I see setbacks is never really me feeling like I can't move past where I am. So I might see it differently and than what you see as a setback. Of course, my College days definitely is one very good example. Outside of me going through from being less than average to being being somewhat of where I wanted to be. I could also talk about the time during my project defense. As I said earlier, I think you joined. I think I saw you join towards the end of the class. I didn't start as an excellent student, so I had people had low expectations of me. I had a project supervisor. There were five in a group, and in that group, who had five carryovers in year three was the leader of the group. So my project supervisor looked at us the day of our project defense. This is in engineering, and came straight to us and said, if they ask you who your supervisor is, please don't mention my name because I don't want to be associated with disgrace. This is somebody that I went to his office every time and I was not even allowed to sit in his office. But what did I do? This is where a change of mindset comes in. Before a week before my project defense, I just locked down myself, and I had one or two people in the group who were a group of five, mostly considered layabouts. We, myself and two other people locked down. We kind of formed a strategy around how we're going to execute. I did a lot of research, looked at what they, I was working on reliability maintenance, and I looked at, I was working on maintenance. That was what my project was about, using Guinness as a case study. And I went to look for what the latest trend in maintenance was at that time. Talking 2007, 2006 was reliability maintenance. I put together a slide. I put together kind of like a way for us to be able to talk to the professors. I put in what's the name? Put in like numbers and everything, just doing all our numbers, preparing, preparing for the day of the presentation. If I tell you that at the end of this, by the time we started, we're all very shaky. By the time we got to the end of the presentation, in a class of over 80, the external supervisor and our HOD said that was the best presentation they've had today for that day. I could have just decided to think about where I am. I could have decided to pity myself. I yes, I knew I'd messed up in the past. I'd forgiven myself. I'd found a way to move forward.
Mm.
What else did I do? I put a plan in place. I'm now at another crossroad. I've overcome other challenges. Now, I've come through many challenges now. I've fought one battle, I have won. This is another battle. This is a fresh battle. While I was there, I decided to change how I see it. Instead of seeing it as a setback, I saw it as something to conquer. I saw it as I put action in place. If you do not put action in place, if you don't take steps to get you to where you want to be, your setback will continue to remain your setback. You have to pull yourself by the bootstrap and keep fighting forward.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing that life story. If you don't, I would also like to share a story of mine. I remember the year when I lost my job, as in I was just invited, very hard work, I'm very hardworking. They call me Olukayode or Ministry of Works. So I was shocked when I opened the letter and I saw due to restructuring, you know, the way they craft these things. And it was a Friday evening. And of course, I was shaking. I got home, I cried, I prayed. I'm a Christian, so that's the only thing I knew how to do. I prayed, I cried, I danced, I praised God, I thanked Him. And on the Sunday of that same weekend, Someone reached out to me to say, "Oh, I heard about what happened to you. Can I engage you in an assignment that I have? I'm trying to start up a company. The pay is going to be very, very low. Like the pay was very, very low. But I thought to myself that instead of staying back at home and just whining and crying and worrying, let me just take this particular job. And that job, though paying low, gave me a springboard to begin to think about how to negotiate, because it was about partnerships, building partnerships with other companies to invest so I began to learn, I began to grow. And some of the things some few weeks ago, when I was trying to broker a deal with someone, for a project here at my place of assignment, it just occurred to me that some of the skills I'm using now, I learned them while I was doing that very, very low paying job. Although in space of 2, 3 months, I got another job, a higher spot. Now I've gone past that. I'm a university registrar right now, so that's like a story. But I said that to say that sometimes if you don't give up, if you don't lose hope, if you just take whatever opportunity or the perspective, like our speaker just said, looking at it in a different light. I on the Monday I was back, I was running my PhD that year, I was about to defend. So I went back to school. I was excited. They were like, "But you just lost your job on Friday." I said, "I got another one on Sunday." And nobody knew that the pay was quite low. I didn't let it show, but I knew that it was a learning point for me. It was something I did, it's just an opportunity for me to bounce back. It was a setback, but it was an opportunity for me to bounce back. And I did bounce back very big, very great. So yes, we all have different challenges. We all face stuff in life, but the way we look at it, the way we see it can determine whether we will win or whether we will lose. And I want to encourage us that we change our perspective about our challenges and look around it. There is a lesson in it. There is a growth in the hidden somewhere there. There's something that can help you bounce back. Very, very, just look at it thoroughly and you will find one. You find something beautiful about it that will help you to grow. And yes, I don't know if we are able to fill the feedback form. It will help us a lot. Thank you so much. And at this point, I don't know if we still have any questions so that we can wind down at this point. Cheesy, are you still on the call? You are my go-to person for both of things. So just be ready to do that. Yeah, she's my mentee and I love her so much and she knows that. And I let everybody know. And Rebecca, I love you too, because you're going to say that I didn't say I love you. I love you too, Rebecca. You're doing a great job. She's my assistant. Rebecca is my assistant. Cheesy, are you there? Can you just give us a vote of thanks? Thank you. Okay. All right. Maybe she's not in a place where she can unmute. Then who can I run to do this for me? Tenny, do this for me. Thank you. Uzo, thank you. Thank you for joining.
Good
I
evening,
love
Ma.
you
Good
too.
evening, everyone.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. So I would like to say thank you so much, Mr. Kayode. It's been very impactful, very inciting. I have learned a lot, a whole lot that I can't even, start to explain or list out, but it's been wonderful, this session. Thank you, Doctor, for bringing Mr. Kayode to give us such a wonderful talk and session. And we look forward to um, more sessions, more great speakers. And I just want to say thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to be here too.
Thank you
All
all for
right.
having.
Thank you so much, Tenny. Yeah. And speaking of community, I noticed that when I was checking the people on the call, there are so many people with the surname OKE. So I believe in that community. Thank you, the OK community, for supporting our speaker and for supporting this event this evening, this masterclass. Thank you so much. I won't be able to mention all of our names, but I say a big thank you to everyone. God bless you. See you again next month. Next month is going to be the 6th of the month. Our speaker will be available on the 6th of November, and we will like you to also join us. So we'll send the flyers and the notices out. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. God bless you. My
Amen.
network again
Thank
is.
you for having us. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Dada Oluwa. Yeah, I think I see Oluwa Kemi. Thank you so much, Yila. Joseph, I can see you. Thank you, Venerable. Thank you for your support always. I think I can see my big sister in the room also. I don't know if she's still there. Thank you, Kadiri Edward. Thank you, Fadike Adewale. Thank you for Lakemi Cheesy. Thank you, Chidima Okeke, my baby girl. Thank you for joining. Eva, my movie buddy. Thank you for joining.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. All
You're
right.
welcome.
Yeah,
Bye,
Tenny, thank
everybody.
you. Bye. Have a great night. Have a good weekend,
You
everyone.
No, thank me. No problem.
as well.
Mr. Kenny, thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Why not thank me for joining?
Mary, you came
Mary, I thank you,
late.
darling. I
Thank
thank
you
you,
for
Mary.
Jide,
I
thank you for
was
joining.
I was doing something. I forgot. Thank you for coming, Mary.
Thank you for coming,
Father,
Mary.
thank
Oh,
you too.
you're welcome.
Thank you,
Gila, thank
Temitope.
you.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for staying from beginning to the end. I appreciate you. Okay, we can go now. Thank you. And some people who I don't know their names, I'm seeing Peruzzi 22nd. Thank you. Ah, Lekon. Thank you for joining. That's my first son, no, in case you don't know.
Very much.
Thank you, Lekon. God bless you. I know you're very busy. Thank you for taking time out to join. See you next month on the 6th of November. Yeah. Permit me to sign out now. Thank you.